It was a cold Tuesday morning in November on the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio. The Maplewood Animal Shelter sat quietly between a gas station and a cornfield, its chain-link fences rattling in the gray wind. Inside, in the very last kennel at the end of the row, sat a 5-year-old English bulldog named Duke. Duke wasn't what most people would call pretty. He had a pushed-in nose that made him snore like a freight train, his front paws turned outward, and one eye that drooped just a little lower than the other. He had already been brought back to the shelter twice. The first family said he was too much work. The second said he knocked over their toddler. Nobody wanted Duke anymore. He lay there with his heavy chin pressed against the cold concrete floor, watching the other dogs get adopted one by one. He didn't bark, he didn't beg. He just watched, with those deep, tired brown eyes that seemed to understand more than they should. On a Saturday in December, a young woman named Sarah Calloway walked into Maplewood. She pushed a worn-out stroller with one hand, and in the other, she absent-mindedly held the leash of her old terrier, a dog that had passed away just 2 weeks earlier. She hadn't even realized she was still carrying it. Sarah had lost her mother to cancer in September. She had moved back to Columbus with her baby daughter, Lily, who was just 8 months old. Her husband was deployed overseas. She was exhausted. Not just tired, but hollow. "I didn't go there to adopt anything," she would later say. "I just needed to be around something alive, something that didn't need me to explain myself." She walked past the barking dogs, past the jumping Labradors, past the bright, playful puppies. And then she stopped, at the very last kennel. Duke wasn't looking at her. He was looking at Lily. Lily, who hadn't reacted much to anything in weeks, who had been colicky, fussy, constantly crying, suddenly went completely still. Her tiny hand reached out toward the kennel, and Duke, slowly, without even standing up, dragged himself across the concrete until his big, wrinkled nose pressed gently against the gate, breathing warm air onto her fingers. Lily laughed. The first real laugh Sarah had heard in weeks. Sarah filled out the paperwork before she could change her mind. The first 2 weeks were hard. Duke bumped into furniture. He snored so loudly Sarah couldn't sleep. He sat in doorways like a boulder that refused to move. Twice Sarah cried, wondering if she had made a mistake. But every single morning, Duke would walk, slowly, steadily, to the baby's room and sit outside the door. He didn't scratch, he didn't whine, he just sat there, like a guard who had been given one job and intended to do it well. Then came a night in January. Sarah had finally fallen asleep around midnight, the kind of deep sleep that comes when your body simply gives up. At 2:47 a.m., she woke up suddenly, not to Lily crying, but to Duke, all 61 pounds of him standing on her chest, staring directly at her. Not barking, just staring, his droopy eyes wide open. "Duke," she started, trying to push him off. Then she heard it, a strange sound from the baby monitor. Not crying, something wrong with Lily's breathing. She ran. Lily was in distress. Her oxygen levels had dropped, a sudden respiratory issue that doctors later said was common but dangerous. The ambulance came, the hospital, long white hallways, machines beeping steadily. Sarah sat in a chair, shaking. But Lily was okay. She was okay. The nurses told her if it had gone on for just 20 more minutes, the outcome could have been very different. The doctor asked Sarah what had woken her up. She paused for a long moment, then quietly said, "My dog." No one could fully explain what Duke had sensed that night. Dogs can hear frequencies far beyond human range. Their noses can detect chemical changes in breath, in sweat, in the subtle signals of a body in distress. Some call it instinct, some call it biology. Sarah called it something else. After Lily came home, Duke changed. He didn't just sit outside her door anymore, he slept inside it. His broad body stretched across the doorway like a living lock. Months later, when Lily started pulling herself up to stand, the first thing she grabbed wasn't a table or a chair. It was Duke, his folds of skin. He didn't move. He became her first support, her first mountain, her first soft place to rest. And Duke, the dog no one wanted, the dog returned twice, the dog who spent years watching others leave, had finally found his reason. When Sarah's husband Marcus returned home in March, he stood in the doorway and saw Lily asleep on the floor. Her tiny hand curled into the wrinkled neck of a 60-pound bulldog who hadn't moved in hours and wasn't about to. Marcus sat down slowly on the couch. He watched them in silence, then finally said, "That dog's not going anywhere, is he?" Sarah shook her head. "He was here before you got back." Marcus nodded. "Then he stays." Lily turned 4 that spring. She learned to say Duke before she could clearly say Mama. She brought him her toys, her crackers, her stuffed animals. She fell asleep with her arm wrapped around his neck. Duke was 8 now, old for a bulldog. He moved slower, his joints ached on cold mornings, his breathing was heavier, but every single day he got up and he walked to wherever Lily was. One evening, Sarah took a photo. Lily sat cross-legged on the porch, reading a picture book out loud. Duke sat beside her, his chin resting gently on her knee, his eyes fixed on her face, like she was the most important thing in the world. She posted the photo online with one simple caption: "He was returned twice. Nobody wanted him. He saved my daughter's life. He is the best thing that ever walked into our home. His name is Duke. He is 8 years old, and he is deeply, completely loved." Sarah Calloway, Columbus, Ohio.